to another episode of EMC. We are your wonderful hosts,
Yes.
Trent.
Drew.
And like I said, sit down, get yourself comfortable, maybe grab some food, and veg out with us.
But don't eat veggies, because they're gross.
Depends which ones. Like, there's some that I don't mind.
Yeah, onions make everything better.
Yeah, I don't. Broccoli's hit and miss for me. Same with cauliflower.
It's evil.
Yeah. That's not what we're here to talk about. The devil that lives inside.
Hell's Kitchen?
No? Nicely done. No.
No.
Or veggies. Or the devil's lettuce.
Devil's lettuce.
Have you ever heard that?
Yeah, I've heard that. I've heard that term. That's a terrible term.
We are going to get into talking about time travel. And I feel, which movie do you think did the better time traveling one, Back to the Future or Terminator?
Oh my god.
But before we do this, I have to talk about the news of Deadpool getting his own adult animated TV series coming out in 2018. It was reported that Donald Glover, anybody who knows him either from his rapping Childish Gambino or Atlanta, or if you know him from like writing for 30 Rock or being on Community. The guy is just an incredible talent, and he also voiced Miles in Ultimate Spider-Man. So he knows enough knowledge to have this project. Apparently it's a 10-episode project coming out in 2018 on FXX. So I am looking forward to that.
Sounds good out.
It does. I read that news and I squealed like a pig. Really? Not like Warren Beatty in Deliverance, but
Wow, you took it there.
I did.
Shit.
People who know that reference just understand it. But I just had to get that news out of the way because I was excited about it.
Pretty cool.
Yeah. Now on with what we were going to talk about with the time travel. Because
Right.
I like Back to the Future franchise and I like Terminator franchise. They both deal with time travel in their own distinct way. Like, obviously there's been other time travel movies. Like, they're not the only ones that have done this. Don't get me wrong.
They're the
but
most
those are
relevant.
Yeah, I would say that. Like, maybe The Time Traveler, but that was way before Back to the Future and Terminator.
I guess you could throw Looper in there.
Yeah.
But it's not iconic.
It's
We're
not-
talking about iconic time travel movies, and for me, like Trent, I think that's going to be Back to the Future and the Terminator franchise.
Yes. Now, I know you've seen all the Terminators.
I've seen all the Back to the Futures too, though.
Yep, that's true. Now, which one do you think? Are you going to go with Terminator? Because if you go with Terminator, then I would definitely go with Back to the Future and try and state the case.
Okay.
It's up to you.
I think the Terminator is the better movie, but if we're talking about it depends what we're talking about, man. Like, if we're talking about actual time travel movies, Back to the Future is a lot more time travel-y versus the Terminator, where a murderous robot and a dude gets sent back in time. Yes, time travel, but then that's it. You're in the 80s.
Yep.
And then time travel's not really a big thing at that point. But Back to the Future is an actual, like, they get on a DeLorean and travel through time.
To do. That is true. But then again, you start, just like with Back to the Future, you're starting with, like, the present day. And for Terminator, the present day was what, 1990s?
Well, the first
Or was
one,
it
no.
2000 something?
Oh no, yeah.
Like present day for that.
It was
Right?
like- it was
fighting
like-
the machines, and then they went back.
I'm
in
pretty
time.
sure. This I'm gonna super nerd out. I'm pretty sure it was 2029. Was supposed to be in the first Terminator when they show like the Terminators in the future. I'm pretty sure it was 2029. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. I know someone will, but you know what? I am gonna pick Terminator.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I just figured out why. The DeLorean is actually a terrible car.
It's a
And
terrible
I would
car.
not trust it to travel me through time.
Yeah, I can see that. I feel like Back to the Future could win though because surprisingly it did have like a set rule with what's going on, where Terminator did have a set of rules, and then just went, oh, look at those rules, and just went for Genesis.
Oh, this is true.
You know what I mean?
They destroyed everything I ever dreamed of.
They just went, oh, look at that, and then just threw the rule book out the window, where at least with the inconsistencies of Back to the Future, they were still consistent with the inconsistencies, if that makes any sense. There is one thing that bugs me about Back to the Future, but I'll get into that a little bit later, just because it... No, I'll get into it now. Fuck it, I'll get into it now.
Okay.
Because
all right.
Biff, right? We all know Biff. We all know Biff. And in the second movie, this is what bugs me about it, is at the very beginning, in 1985,
Something like that.
he sees the DeLorean fly away, and says, what the hell's going on here? And then the movie starts, right? And all of a sudden they're in the future, right? Last year, or 2 years ago now, 2015. And there's an old Biff there. But what I've always thought about is, back in the 80s, a lot of people did talk to the National Enquirer and stuff, and about what they seen. Like, I saw a UFO type thing, and Biff just seems like the character that would do that, because he always wanted personal gain. So if he wanted to get the notoriety and everything, he would have gone to the tabloids and stuff saying, I saw a UFO. And Doc Brown seems like the type that would actually follow the National Enquirer just in case, and would notice this. So that when like 2015 comes around and they're in the future and they see Biff, they should be aware, like, okay, let's steer clear from this guy because he already knows what's up. Or he should just be committed and not be a problem in the first place, because he was saying that he saw these UFO and flying DeLorean and just sounded crazy. And I feel like, I don't know, that's the biggest flaw in the movie for me. Just in the second one. I know it's the dumbest flaw to like point out, like especially with the first film with the picture of them disappearing, but for the second film, just it's like if that all happened, then they wouldn't even have to worry about the alternate 1985 and all that crap.
That's legit.
I just feel like that is like that made more like common sense than anything, where they don't have like, and Doc Brown was pretty reckless. He wasn't looking around. He wasn't like, okay, let's see that nobody saw the time traveling DeLorean or anything like that. Where he wasn't as discreet as he should have been. Where Terminator, they didn't have to worry about that. Their mission objective was just kill Sarah Connor or kill John Connor, not do it quietly, just kill him, right? So with that one, it's a little bit less flawed with the discreetness. Anyways,
I think the method that, because part of one of the biggest things with a time travel movie is how cool is their process of traveling through time. Okay, and this is where I think if we're talking about time traveling movies, which one's cooler? The most important aspect, like I just said, is how cool is the process of them moving through time. Now, getting into a fucking DeLorean and doing 88 miles an hour, that's pretty cool. Even though
they can't get to 88.
No,
they can barely get to 30.
Yeah, they're garbage. They will probably blow up halfway there. But when the Terminator travels through time, they come in this like bubble, and it melts the pavement. And I remember in the one Terminator, it actually melted part of the truck down to the tire and everything. And I thought that was a super cool effect.
Now, did it melt or did it cut it? Because I thought it always cut, like the fence, and I thought it just cut it.
It just completely destroyed it. So like there wasn't like molten pieces of truck. It was
right.
You're probably right actually. It was like removed it more or less.
Yeah.
Right? And it was just like a perfect cut.
Like
sure,
that
yeah.
1,000-degree hot knife.
Or like the ground, how you could see him standing in the ground and there was part of the dish in the ground
like
and it's
red all of a sudden.
Red hot. Yeah. See, to me that's way cooler.
It is cooler, but you're arriving everywhere naked.
Dude,
that's the hard part. Like,
you don't know how the future is. What if everyone in the future just walks around naked?
Yeah, but that's the future. If you go to the past and you just show up as a random naked person, you're going to jail.
Yeah, but they may not know. They're like, what if that Terminator didn't know?
Well, he would have killed all the cops that went up to him.
Yeah, it's just true. And
then
then
it is cool if you could remain clothed.
Yeah. Well, actually,
or show up at that timeline with clothes already for that era. That would make it even cooler.
the Terminator
know
wears
what I mean?
Bill Paxton's clothes.
Yeah.
That's what he does.
And then that biker Johnny, whatever. In
Well, I
Terminator
guess
2.
technically he doesn't wear Bill Paxton's clothes. He killed Bill Paxton, and then the other guy, as he's holding up his bloody fist, he's like, okay, you can just have my clothes.
Yeah. So one guy almost dies, and one guy definitely dies in those films to get clothes.
Oh yeah, in
So
the second movie, he threw the guy on the fucking frying thing.
Yeah.
You know, like the cookie surface, and the
Yeah.
guy, oh yeah.
So it's like traveling through time that way. It seems like it comes with a price.
Of being awesome.
I guess.
Getting to rob bikers for clothes.
Where you're already clothed in the DeLorean. It just depends if you're going to make it to 88 miles or not.
It will never happen.
No, it won't. It won't. But so what do you think then? For time traveling, do you think Terminator's better, or do you think Back to the Future is better?
I think if
Movie-wise, you like Terminator.
God, yeah, okay. If we're talking about just the time traveling aspect, I suppose Back to the Future is the better movie.
Okay.
In every other aspect possible, The Terminator is a better movie.
I'm
For
gonna
me.
flip it. I think that the better movie for me was Back to the Future.
What?
Back to the Future 2. But the better time traveling for me was Terminator's.
It's the complete opposite.
Right? Terminator's 1 to like Salvation. I just won't acknowledge Genesis.
Okay, all they had to
It's
do.
still cool. Like,
All
it's
they
still
had to
cool
do
time travel.
was make the movie,
Yep.
have it end with Kyle Reese going back in time. There's the loop.
Yep.
Leave it. It would have been perfect. It would have been this perfect linear loop that movie series should have been, and they fucked it. They fucked it hard.
Yeah. But that's not how you make money.
Oh,
In Hollywood.
apparently.
Right? That's the only problem. That is the only problem with that.
Yeah.
Is they need to keep making. Hence the Sarah Connor
Chronicles,
Chronicles.
which was terrible. That's right.
Same with the Back to the Future video game. They made a video
God.
it could have been good. I tried playing it.
How bad? Scale of 1 to 10.
Well, the guy who did the voice of Marty McFly was actually really well done. It sounded like Michael J. Fox, so kudos to that guy because it sounded really identical. But on a 0 of 1 to 10, 0.5.
Oh my god.
It was pretty bad, but if you didn't know Back to the Future, you might enjoy it. But I do, and I did not.
Well, there we go. We've accomplished nothing and have agreed on nothing once again.
We have, and it's Sunday, so happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out
Happy
there.
Mother's Day. I love you, Mom.
And yeah, I guess that's good here. I say, have a like, leave a comment, tell us which time traveling movie you liked, whether it was one of these two that we talked about, or if it was a completely other time traveling movie, like The Time Traveler's Wife. I don't know. That was the first one that came to mind with the word time travel.
God.
Right? But for this episode, I'm Trent.
I'm Drew.
We will see you in the next EMC episode.